that wears many hats on this show. He has a lot of jobs to do, but maybe the most important one is just remembering who's playing. So I don't know really what to think about that, but one of these teams, they really don't care. They do not care about how bad people on this show are at their jobs. They care about being in RLCS in Season 7, Rogue versus Bread. This is the matchup that these guys care about most.
And one we've already seen today.
We have seen it once
Obviously,
today.
these guys have talked about it. It is a completely different situation. It is all or nothing now. You either are playing to make it back into the RLCS or making your first appearance in the RLCS. That is a lot to play up for, but the big thing I think that gives Rogue a slight advantage is they are veterans of this game. They know how to take a tough loss. They know how to bounce back. I'm curious to see, though, if they can do it when it matters most.
We'll see. The big difference between that match and the match that just happened against Splice was Joro, as they said on the desk. He didn't score a single goal in the match against Splice, where he carried pretty heavily earlier today. So can he wake back up and be the player his team needs? We saw a lot of good improvement from Rogue in their match against Splice, but none of it turned into a win. So here, coming off kickoff, Joro gets one. Sipical stalls this one above the goal. Sathu will get the clear as Jacob came in for the shot. Here goes Sizz, up back to Jacob, looking for the shot. It gets deflected by XB, but Jacob's got the read. Sizz with another touch, and it goes in. Oh my goodness, Rogue starts hot.
Only 19 seconds in, multiple shots coming in from Rogue. Just relentless pressure and the follow-up. That is something that Rogue needs. As soon as a shot is there, someone needs to be there to follow up. It's where they got beat last series. They are going to learn from it here. Only 11 seconds in.
They turned quickly. Kept that offense going. Now Joro off the kickoff. Looking for a second shot. Jacob with a whiff on the wall. Sizz, he hesitated. He thought about moving into the ball, thought about rotating, didn't really do either, and now the ball's all the way back down in his own box. Sathu tried to challenge Jacob, but he'll win the contact. Joro wins on the wall. Now Rogue moving up. Sipical gets it past one. Joro back across the box. Sathu with a shot, and this one bounces in. A nice favorable touch off the post, and it's a tie game.
Just a good setup by Sipical. Just going to dribble that all the way down, but that secondary touch in that pinch, unfortunately for Rogue, Joro does get a piece of it. He wants to play that across, but unfortunately it's right in front of his net. Makes it really easy for a suffocating Splice to come across. They tie it up. 4:09 left here. Plenty of time to go.
Sathu off of kickoff. Put past one. Here comes Sipical. Jacob sends it to the corner. Sizz moves into goal behind him. AXB with infield pass. Sipical shot is high. Jacob now flicking it past one. Sathu's got this read. AXB turns around quickly, looking to just cause chaos in the corner. But Joro's got it. Emerges with ball control. Holds onto this one past Sipical. Fakes on both sides. This one comes out in favor of Bread. As it drops down, Sizz keeping this high. AXB now into the corner. Double commit with Sipical. They maintain ball control. Joro couldn't win the challenge. A bump onto Sathu will create a bit of space. Sizz and Jacob trying to move out together, though, right on top of each other. Sipical now back down into the box. This Bread is just building more and more pressure here.
You said it, Wave. Rogue is having a tough time trying to break out of their own half.
Sathu up, shot towards the net. Sizz to the side. Joro comes into the goal. Clean rotations from Rogue, but they're going to need a bit more than that right now. They have to be able to challenge the ball at the point of contact. They're giving Bread so much space. This pinch all the way down the field will be a bit wide, but AXB be able to send it off to the side.
Could have been a chance for Bread, though. That's two shots on the top right corner, just barely missing with those on target. We could have a different story here, but Bread still majority of the pressure favoring them.
Sizz was able to win a challenge and attack it, but then Rogue losing a bit more control. Now back in the corner again. Sizz across the top of one. He's got Sathu. Sipical will take that one beat. Now back down to Joro. Sizz will wrap it around the corner. A nice touch from AXB down the field. Joro retreating. Will be able to clear to the side. They gave so much space, and here comes Bread. Sipical finds the ceiling shot off the corner and gets the lead for Bread.
Again, not sure what Joro's quite thinking here. He has plenty of time to control that and play it, but instead he just launches it away from himself in the corner. Makes it really easy for Bread to just challenge it and play it right back into the middle. A big mistake on defense. Bread is there to punish.
A beautiful shot, and just, again, where was the rest of Rogue? Sipical now past two. will be low on boost, and Sizz and Joro look to get this one out.
Did get the deny in the corner, too.
1:56 left to go. 2-1 in favor of Bread. This was the scoreline of every game we saw Rogue play against Splice. Every single one going in Splice's favor. Jacob will look to pass, gets it out to Sizz, can't make contact. Sizz was not quite there. Bread will move back down the field. Joro pass one, AXB now onto his own back wall. Onto the Rogue back wall, rather. Sizz followed this one off. He's able to maintain a bit of ball control, now move up, get midfield boost to try to cause some havoc on the rotation for Bread. 118, a shot from AXB. Sent out of the box. Now Jacob passed one, moving up. He's got one player in front of him. Sypical punted high over the top of him and transition right back out. Sizz against AXB, a demolition in net onto Joro, but Jacob's there. Has it back out. Sizz and Jacob right on top of each other again. Nobody really making contact. The pass back towards Joro. He's giving so much space to this ball. Pass one. Jacob with an excellent touch. Put it over the top, but with 50 seconds left, they've got to find the shots right now. They started with so much aggression in this game, and then they have backed off. Again, looking for confusion in the corner. Sizz has just been playing the bruiser all day.
Well, I talked about it at the beginning of the day. The difference maker is going to be who can control and dictate this gameplay style. They started off really aggressive, but then went to this more passive approach. When they're playing this aggressive, they're basically not giving Bread any chance to breathe, making it really easy for them to score, but hasn't been like that. They're finally starting to show it again here with 15 seconds left.
Can they find it? A good clear from Bread down to the corner. Jacob pass one. He's taking a lot of time on this wall, and he puts it behind Sizz. Back to Joro, who wins the challenge with AXB. Sizz now low on boost in the midfield as they try to make the play happen. He's got enough to work with, but he's just not going anywhere. The ball spends so much time lofted. They burn all the time off the clock. They need Joro to keep this one in the air. It does stay alive as AXB and Sathu, though, they've got all the ball control, and they can just mandate where this goes. Straight into the ground. Bread takes the game 2-1.
Similar scenario to their first series in the day. Bread had a good start, good pressure, spaced well, not too many double commits, but then Rogue was able to bounce back. Similar situation here. Rogue came off with a very hot start, tons of pressure within that first 19 seconds, and then it was all Bread the rest of the series.
Yeah, Bread did win game number one, so how game number two goes will be, I think, the most indicative here of what sort of Rogue we're going to get for the rest of this series. Rogue now on a 5-game streak of losing exactly 2-1. The game, though, number one against Splice, went into overtime.
Gonna have to bounce back, man. Obviously, these guys have the tools to put it together, but the big proponent of how they were able to win their other series, Joro, was a huge step up. He made 2 crucial mistakes that allowed both those goals in. Typical
here, putting in one of the goals, Sathu getting the other one, AXB the only one not being involved in the scoring to get any assists either. So Bread playing together as a team pretty well here, and again, it's typical. That one goal he got, I still wonder just where it was the defense. Joro was the first man on, but he had 2 other teammates as well. It didn't seem to be anywhere on that play. Typical making a great play out of that corner to give them the lead.
Yeah, it's just a matter of controlling and using what you have in space. Like, the big context to me was Joro's back, the ball's settling right in the midfield, and rather than just trapping it and trying to bring it downfield, he smashes it into the corner. It rolls up completely out of touch for him. Like, there's nowhere near it. Yeah, he gets the corner boost, but it's an easy transition back down into the middle of their net. And then, obviously, that phenomenal play for Sathu to bring it off the wall and dish it to himself. So, just finding a way to maintain that possession and control it, even if it means going for a challenge and an early goal almost here for Joro.
AXB makes the save. The kickoff plays more and more common here in Rocket League. Typical takes a nice shot. This one going over to AXB. Gets zoned out, sent to the side by Sizz. He just shut down any shooting opportunities there. A quick counter-attack from Bread after the kickoff assault from Rogue. Sizz sends this one off his backboard. Now back down on the Sypical. The defense was right there. Sypical shot it straight at him, but AXB keeps the pressure on, putting it back down in. Joro will get the save. And Sathu adjusting to try and gain ball control. See if he can keep some pressure going, but he has to get it out of his own half. Jacob's got the read. This one going down into the box. It'll be AXB that gets the clear, and Sathu will keep the play going.
Actually, a really smart choice to just launch that down to the other side of the field. Everybody else needs to get back into a better position. Got to buy any time they can. They're all boosted up. Get ready for attack here for Bread.
Here comes AXB. Over the top of Sizz. Sypical moving into the corner. Jacob following with him toe-to-toe. Getting now past Sathu. Sypical had backed off, allowed Sathu to challenge, and that gives him the free read off the bounce. He'll be able to move this one back into the box. Jacob, uncontested, off the wall. He passed one, now Sathu passing across to AXB, looking for the shot, bouncing down and in. It's off the post here, off the crossbar. High, Sathu with the soft shot. Sizz makes the save.
What a save!
Are you kidding me? I cannot believe that didn't go in.
It was so light, and I'm like, yeah, no matter what, that's still going to go in. But the last heroic effort from Sizz to keep it out. What a play to keep this still tied at 0.
Rogue, the defense, very haphazard, and here comes another opportunity. Typical misses this one as Joro also with the follow-up shot from Sathu. Joro sends it down. Anybody have the clear here? It'll be Sizz. Jacob commits with him as well, though. They're on top of each other over and over again. Now Jacob having to play solo defense. His bread flies all the way back down the field. Jacob out. AXB over to the side. Sizz dropping it into the corner. Typical down. Sizz to Joro. AXB with interception. Typical midfield. Sathu over on the wall. Jacob now over the top of one. He's got Sizz underneath him. He moves it all the way into the corner. Typical now picking it up off the wall. Joro with one woman to go straight to AXB. Sends a shot straight from mid, and Sizz makes the save. Approaching halftime, still scoreless here in game 2. And a critical, pivotal game for Rogue to get any sort of momentum back on their side, as they are bleeding wins right now.
The only time that Rogue's actually been able to clear it out is from hesitation from Brett. There was one time when 2 were in the midfield about a minute ago, where both went to cut back and try to re-challenge because they needed to make a play to apply pressure. But the hesitation, it was too late and it cleared it right over. But other than that, the rotations have been super clean, very aggressive, challenging at the midfield, and using the space they're being given. There's been plenty of times where the ball has been trapped and settled, and they just wait their time. And that's what you want to see out of a team that's trying to move up, is when given space and are trying to deal with pressure, finding ways to alleviate that on their own. But unfortunately for Rogue, that means trouble for them.
They've been doing a good job here in the past minute or so, staying up on offense. There's been a few touches from Bread that I think they could have easily punished to gain the lead, but a lot of space being given by Rogue. Jacob now onto the crossbar and back down. Sizz up to try and find the shot, gets 2 defenders up, but Typical waits his time on the ground. Joro was so far back here. He finally comes in for the shot. Typical in net will make the save, but here comes Sizz trying to find the final shot and puts it through. Finally, Rogue gets on the board.
Initial shot was great. The pressure came from there, but there was so much downtime in front of the net that allowed Sathu to get in front of it. And I'm like, where's this guy? Where's this pressure from Rogue? Finally, you see someone with full boost scream in, put a shot on net, and Rogue goes up by 1.
Wide rotations have given Bread a lot of breathing room here. They need to find a goal. As now approaching the final minute, down by 1. Typical airborne, he's got Sathu to work with, looks for the pass, it goes over the top of him. AXB in with a follow-up, and it's wide. Joro gets a clear, but Sathu putting it right back into the box. Joro again, able to respond back down and now put it onto the backboard. Typical adds some pace to it. It goes all the way back to the blue corner, and Sizz can't quite deflect it. It's up high. Here comes AXB. Jacob gets it away. Joro on the side as Sathu comes in for the shot and just completely misses off to the corner. Typical back in the mid. This one going towards the goal will be Joro that gets it away. Up to Sizz, looking to tag team it. Back across, 30 seconds left. Here comes Bread. AXB with a pass into Typical. He finds the shot. Joro and Sizz both commit. Can AXB get there and get it back to Sathu? Back into the box. He gets bumped on the rotation out, and Sizz able to win a challenge as well. Or at least win it enough off to the side. With 10 seconds remaining, Bread needing to find a goal. As Jacob puts it onto the backboard, AXB's not quite there. And Typical also falls down. This will give so much space as the clock ticks all the way out. And it's in the orange corner. AXB, he's got to get the full core carry. Gets a nice boomer down, but it'll be Sizz who's there first. Dropping it onto AXB's hood. He holds on to it, and Joro dunks it off him into the goal. And Rogue ties up the series.
Great bounce back game from Rogue, but it took him a little bit too long. I'm glad that they're starting to capitalize on it. That aggression is what makes this Rogue squad so good. When they get in the face of this team, they shut things down and deny that space. They look almost unstoppable. It's just a matter of, can they maintain it? here's a step in the right direction.
When Rogue is playing hot, they play so hot. And Sizz, oh my goodness, 6 save, 2 savior medals he put up in this game to keep Rogue's net clean. Joro also earning himself a savior medal there. So much defense having to be played on the 11 shots that we saw Bread put up. So the big one for me, though, Rogue breaks the streak. Right now they had been losing. They'd lost 5 games in a row, finally get 1 win. We're guaranteed that there will not be a sweep here. And we are kind of on the same path that we saw in series number 1.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is not only are they stopping that loss kind of consistency that's going on, but a bigger score margin as well. 2-0 in their favor. That's a good start. It's going to start to build some momentum. And for me, the forefront of it being Sizz. Sizz has been a big question throughout this entire series. He's had rather varying kind of performances, but for him to step up at the point where it matters the most, and yes, I almost said very
varying. It's technically correct.
Right,
it's just very confusing.
I'm like, I know a different word. Let's use rather instead.
That was funny.
But,
no, Sizz has been a huge part of it. There was that massive save on the one drive we saw where it's like, surely Bread scores this. Jacob completely whiffs. It was a soft roller towards the net, but it's like, it's on target. Where is anybody? Sizz comes in from out of nowhere to make that save. Big plays on the goal line. Still some double commits with Jacob, but right now they're making it work in spite of the mistakes. They got the win. So we move on to game 3, moving into Neo Tokyo. Bread will be looking to bounce back. They were not short of opportunities in game 1, but short of any results. They started with a quick counterattack. They weren't able to convert on. So if they can win off kickoff. There's another one that's a thing I say pretty often that I think is confusing, but technically correct. Off kickoff. Following kickoff might be better. Sizz goes towards the backboard. Is this one just in? It's just in. Off of Sizz. He was able to sneak it under the crossbar.
We're trying to wordsmith over here. These guys are trying to win games. Just a good touch by Sizz, playing that high. And a lofter. I mean, I usually see these goes off the ceiling, but for him to just put it straight on net, I like the direct approach. Too many times these guys are getting creative. You might as well just apply that direct to pressure. Make sure somebody has to go for a save it, because at this point, nobody's there. An easy goal for them, a great start again, but can they maintain? That's been the question. As a beautiful play from Bread. Civical, their major goal scorer, gets one here.
Finding off the kickoff. Sathu dropping this one down. AXB helps it out, and Civical to put it home. It immediately tied it up there, breaking Rogue's 3-goal streak, as they have been able to put on 3 unanswered. Bread now on the board. Very early goals here. I think the earliest we've seen these 2 goals get scored, and we'll put another one on. How about it? Sathu able to get the lead.
Just a great sheet up on the kickoff. He actually follows up his own, so that initial touch, he goes for a delay, and when he flips into it, it bounces off his car and then goes past the defender because he hits it second. But for him to be able to follow that up immediately after, not sure if that was planned or otherwise, but man, what a great play from Sathu.
I think part of it was kind of a poor touch from the challenger from Rogue. That meant that he lost no momentum. He actually kept pace with the ball and was able to immediately take the shot. Blisteringly fast goal here from Bread to take the lead. They get the pass across to Sathu as he looks for the shot. It's just a bit wide. And Sizz will get this one away. Sipical has to fall back as they look to play some defense. Jacob now up, sending the shot towards the goal. This one's sent away by XB, and Sipical will add some pace to it, get it all the way back into the blue. Now Joro. The punt, long ways. Pass in from Jacob to Sizz. Wins the challenge, but this ball has lost all momentum. Now back in. Orange corner here. Sipical trying to move it out. A bump on the wall from Jacob onto Sathu. AXB doesn't make the clear in net. Sipical's got to get this one away from his box, and he does. Jacob keeping it in the midfield, but there's no one there to pick it up. Sipical look to get this one back to Sathu, but intercepted by Joro. Now quickly turning it around in the midfield. Sizz plays it to the side. You see Jacob move it up midfield. Now looking for goalies. This one comes down, trusting his teammates to be there, but they're not. They're giving so much space. Sathu comes all the way from his own box to get this one away. Sizz now back into the box. Sipical. A long touch. This drop from Joro looked dangerous, but Jacob was there, and Sipical respected it. Now Sizz looking to dribble this one over the top of AXB into the corner. He's got Jacob to help him pass 2. The shot was just high of the corner, and Sipical will pick up control as they move out. Bread holding on right now, and the accuracy of Rogue kind of helping him out.
It's been actually pretty common for both teams. Just the shots not on target. Could be a totally different game, but the pressure's starting to lead again towards Rogue. They usually have a little bit slower start. Those kickoffs, unfortunately, not in their favor. but they are starting to put on a little bit more pressure. The pass is a little bit with more intent, as a lot of these touches actually from Bread's side starting to develop. You saw one fly across there, but a chance here.
Oh, Sathu, he made a kind of poor first touch, and then the second one, still soft, still gets it away. Blocks the shot as AXB puts it into the corner. Sizz looking for Sathu in the corner, and here comes Jacob down to Joro, blocked by AXB. He found the pass, he had the read. He's able to keep any shot from materializing, but here, nice touch from Sizz. It's Joro versus Typical, sends the shot to the corner, and it goes in. A tie game, 2-2 here in game 3.
That's just a great heads-up play from Joro. He's retreating all the way back in the midfield. As soon as that pinch goes out, he double backs and also makes sure to get a couple small boost pads along the way to maintain that pace. And it's just an immediate shot on target. Any extra time used there. Possible save for Bread. We tied up here, 2:03 left.
Sathu off the kickoff. Following the kickoff, say. Jacob now pass one. Can he get two? Doesn't find the second touch, but Typical puts it back into his own box. Jacob will get the pass out to Joro. Couldn't get it through Sathu. Sizz onto the wall, tries to find the second one. After the challenge from Bread, they've kept the pressure on. Back out to Jacob. Can he find the shot? Just a bit high. Joro was trying to crash the box and get rid of the goalies. But AXB, his touch towards the goal. Joro will clean it up on the retreat.
3 touches again in a row from Rogue, all consecutive, winning it, beating them to the ball, but then the shot again off target. They need to put those away.
Sizz versus AXB wins the challenge. Sathu and Typical in the corner. Sizz gets the demolition, but not before Typical's damage is done. All the way back up to AXB in the corner, this time on the blue side. Sizz over the top of one. Sathu in midfield onto the wall. With 1 minute remaining, we're still tied up at 2 apiece. Typical and Sathu, a double commit. AXB in the mid. He wants to move in, but he can't. He's got 2 teammates that are loose in front of him. Finally now able to be up to take the shot, but it's going to be wide. Jacob will look just to pace it into the corner. Joro looking to clear. Gets it back up to midfield. 43 seconds on the clock and nobody with the lead. Rogue starting to move up to try and take a possession advantage. AXB has other ideas back into the corner. It's just Sizz in the back, and he wins this one cleanly. Now moving up the field, he's got Joro and Jacob in front of him. They get it across, but it's not on target. Sathu off the wall, puts it back. AXB hesitates. The challenges from Rogue starting to come through. But this one, a soft touch from Sizz. Now back down to Sathu, sends it towards the goal, and Jacob's not there. The defense just caught completely out. Sizz had to stall this in the midfield, and he didn't pull it off.
So it's just unfortunate for Sizz. He's coming across trying to make a fast contest in the midfield because he's so far to the right of it. When he makes that touch, he finally boosts back across it and just drops it right for the other team of Bread that is challenging. All they got to do is put a shot on an open net. And with only 20 seconds left, that could be the demise.
Here in game 3, that could be the decider. Jacob pass 2. They've got an opportunity to tie it up once more. Up on the wall, they've got to make this read. Somebody's got to touch it. Sizz puts it down to Joro. He gets the shot towards the goal. It's off the backboard. Jacob comes in. 2 defenders were up. Nobody's home on defense. If he can just get it over the top, but Jacob can't make contact, and Bread wins game 3.
Missed shots, mistakes. The difference makers for Rogue, they're playing such good pressure offense. They're applying it, they're challenging well, but when it matters the most, they miss the target or a bad mistake on defense leaves it wide open. Not even to bring up the kickoffs either. Like, that stuff you cannot be making at this point. Like, maybe it's the pressure, I don't know, but...
It was 2 kickoff goals, I believe, that Bread scored out of the 3. And the other one was just a long break down the field. They had to find that rotation at the end. Rogue wasn't able to put it together. And Jacob in particular playing quite passively right now, only putting up shots in both games 2 and 3. No other stats here on the end game scoreboard. So needing to find a way to get involved. And we've seen multiple moments when Jacob could have been the difference maker. He could have put the shot on, and it was just high, just wide, just quite didn't make contact. Jacob's got to step up for Rogue.
And there's nothing you can really say or do about that. The one thing, if you've ever talked to somebody who's coaching or somebody who is trying to help out a team from a third-party perspective, you never really point out the mechanical things because the players know, I just need to make that. There's no point in me saying, you messed that up, fix it, because they know that, right? So in this kind of scenario, it's weird for us to be able to analyze this game when really the big difference maker is just put it on target, man. Like, stop missing. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. Show me that you can do that.
It felt the same way in the match against Splice, that they could have, had the accuracy been there, been absolutely dominating that match. Right now, rotations, knowing where each other is, the speed at which they can play. Sometimes it seems like Rogue's the best team in this tournament, but they cannot find the goals. They have not been able to string together the wins. A nice play there, but again, Jacob misses. Sizz on the follow-up, can't quite find it. The play does not work out, and now Brett breaking back down the field. Sathu to Typical, now back to AXB. Into the corner, Sathu rotates right back around. Great pressure from Brett as they send it on target. Jacob and Joro both double committing. AXB across. There's to Typical. Goes back, it'll be Sizz that picks it up in his own corner. Sathu challenging, winning that one. Putting it across, Joro will keep the ball high, but Typical with another one from midfield. Jacob gets the save here in the mid. Joro trying to get it out of his own half. Rogue being smothered right now. Struggling to find any semblance of ball control. Every time they make contact, it seems Brett is making contact next. Joro off the ceiling. Wasn't able to use it very much, despite the space he had so far. Slight wins on the challenges. Jacob's shot is just high. Not able to make it work, and Jacob here, tired of the results he was getting, has switched back to Octane, hoping to pull it off. Right now, it's Bread, though, that's on the scoreboard.
Just a great counterattack. That ball played into the midfield. It was a setup for his teammate, but nobody was there for the follow-up because they were both back, grab and boost. Red just sees it and like, well, I guess we'll take a counterattack opportunity. They launch it downfield and put a shot directly on target, and it pays off. One and done for them.
Rogue needing to find a way back into this. They have really not had a lead since game 2. And if they lose this one, Bread is 1 game away from qualifying for RLCS. It's Jacob moving up. Twinser he's on today, or on now. Jaeger just wasn't doing it for him. There's Joro over to the side. Here comes Jacob. That's one. He's got Joro to work with in the mid. Here comes Joro looking for the shot. Finds the shot. Placement, a difficult one to make, but it ties the game, and Joro's back on offense.
I mean, a lot of it, too, is Sathu's up on the wall, but I think he just jumps off awkwardly and preemptively. It's two committing for the same shot. Nobody in net. It's difficult. The person who's in that near post needs to be the one to challenge it because he gets cut off not only from that first pass in, he's just in this weird limbo area, and the pass play comes out. Great job from Rogue to spread it out. Shot Joro. Here, there it is.
Puts in another one. Joro helping him out again. 2 goals on the game, and Rogue's got the lead.
Doing a much better job of spreading this defense thin, even though that shot was awkward and a total mistake. It doesn't matter. It draws out a defender because they respect the opponent. And Rogue goes back on top. We're talking about how they needed to change the momentum of this game. This is a great way to do it.
2:58 on the clock. Rogue starting to come alive. Can they keep it up? Jacob moves up onto the wall, a miss as he tried to find contact and move it into enemy territory. Joro and Gold not going to make contact either. Jacob has to come in on the rotation. Another miss there on the corner. He gets the demolition on the Sathu to open up a little bit of space. That just means AXB and Typical can press outwards as the ball moved to midfield. Across halftime right now. 1 goal lead for Rogue. Sathu out of the corner. Sizz has a response. AXB had some pace to it. Jacob trying to turn this one back around, see if he can set up Joro's. Trying to move up, just slowly creeping into this corner. Sathu gets it past him cleanly, and now past Sizz as well. It's just Jacob in the back, but it'll make it all the way to the corner. That ball had a lot of pace on it. There'll be no immediate shot on the transition. Sizz picking this one up here. Another play. Get it past the midline defense, and Joro now with a challenge. Sizz nearly had the redirect to cleanly put that in an open net. But they lose challenge. They lose ball control, and now the quick pass plays down Brett. A brilliant play that's just wide. The follow-up from AXB is there, and they've tied it back up.
Again, a quick counterattack. Sizz and the rest moving downfield great. Just Sizz has no boost to make that initial touch to play it back in. They retreat the other way, and now Sizz is in this awkward spot where shots are flying left and right past him. He pre-jumps to try to make a save, but it doesn't matter. The placement from Brett, the tying it up, great job by them.
Typical now pass 1. Getting the bump onto Joro. Going to try and hold him down on the wall. It's not going to happen today. 135. Sizz up, trying to get it to Jacob here. Now Typical past him. Sathu in the midfield, trying to beat Joro. Gets it past Sizz. Jacob has to rotate back. Joro with another miss. Sizz onto the backboard here. Sathu should have this cleanly away. Gets it all the way to AXB, who's rotating back, decided to try and extend the play. Now Sipical pass one. Can anybody find the shot? Sathu looking back towards AXB, but it's all the way to the corner. And Sizz will pick this one up and dribble it out of his own half. Some nice plays from AXB and company, but nothing to show for it there. It's still just tied up. Joro comes in off the bar again, or off the top lip of the stadium. Sipical, a good clear. Jacob now back to Joro. Just pinch over to the side with the final minute, tied up at 2 apiece. Is Rogue just looking to tie up the series? Bring themselves back in, do not give Bread match point. Bread just trying to bring the impossible about, see both rivals promoted to champions here in North America.
25 seconds left. They're in a great spot. Just a matter of can Rogue hold on. They've been slowing it down more and more. It's been giving them more space to work with. See if they bust that out here.
Sizz in his own net. Putting this high, here comes Joro. He's got AXB beat. And this one all the way down towards the goal. Sipical has to just stall it, and he gets it over to the side. An excellent touch, and Sathu follows it up just to create some pressure. Not give Sizz a free shot. Back down in the middle, it'll touch, and we go to overtime in Game 4. Watch for the kickoff here. As they win one, Sathu looks for the shot. It wasn't strong, and Sizz will be able to get the clear. Back down the field, no one still reset as AXB plays it to the side. We will have both teams able to pick up boost. Sipical over to the side now. AXB playing onto the far wall. Sathu in the middle here as Sizz challenges him. He gets the challenge. Wins it neutrally. Sipical and Sathu. The misses. Sizz looking for the demo on the goalie, but couldn't find him. AXB will get it off to the corner. Here comes Jacob in, looking for the shot on target. It's just wide. And Sipical makes the save. Sathu now to midfield. And another touch over the top. Here comes Sathu. This one won by Jacob. Can he zone out? AXB actually wins the challenge on the wall. Now here comes Joro versus Sipical up to the upper side. Sipical able to get it away, but Sizz in with a follow-up. It's still wide. Another touch is wide. Jacob in, and it goes high. Is Joro there? No one's home. He finds the far post, and Sipical slams the door on him. Rogue having so many opportunities to win Game 4. Another opportunity as Joro puts it high. Here's Sizz looking for the shot, and he gets the demolition on the goalie. That one will do it. And Rogue is still alive.
I do not know how many shots this team needs to put it in a goal. I'm just ecstatic that they finally do. Everybody in the studio is just jumping around like, why is it not going in? And finally, they spread it thin enough and put the softest touch on target, and it rolls into the net. Rogue is giving us a match here.
They're making it exciting. They're making it exciting by hitting woodwork. It's like the post and the cross, but they're like, you know what? You know what the viewers at home would like? Let's not score the first 3 shots. Let's just miss barely and then score an easy one there at the end. They stay alive.
I mean, another 13 shots for Rogue, man. If that doesn't tell the story, I don't know what does. And it's great. Like, they're starting to work in a couple other things that I like, right? Like, I love that they're slowing the pace down. If there's something the veteran players know how to do is use that space. So to slow it down, force these misses, or even force a challenge that is someone that is having to attack and actively think about what's happening. Love that. They're starting to go for more bump plays. There was times where Joro was literally just chasing Sathu in circles. He's like, I'm going to get you whether you like it or not. And it just created opportunity for Sizz and Jacob to just play 2-on-2, and it was great.
Well, we've seen that a few times from them where it's like, oh, okay, it's 2v2 in our own half. What should I do? I could rotate behind. Nah, they got it. I'm going to go get the goalie. And like just take off to the other side of the field. And it's a clever play. We haven't really seen it turn into a goal just yet. That final demolition from Joro, they're already all up on offense. It's just, he should be going for the goalie at that point. And the shot from Sizz just barely ends the goal, just barely fast enough to go in. And they are bringing it down to the wire. But here, we're guaranteed at least Game 6 between Rogue and Bread, as these guys are going back and forth. A win, 2 wins apiece. No one able to get on a streak.
Just so much on the line here, Waypunk. And you know they've got to be thinking about it. You win, you go back, or make it to the RLCS. You lose, you're going to the rival series, something Jacob has never had to face in his career.
Oh, on the infield pass from Bread. They are trying to get there right now. Says with a nice setup high. AXB puts it back in the mid. Jacob looking to connect with Joro here. They'll pull it off. Get it all the way to the corner. Sathu puts this one out. Jacob's up, trying to set up Sizz, but maybe puts it a little bit too high. Sizz continues to loft it. Sathu will finally have the read. AXB now back down to the midfield. This one going totally in Rogue's favor. Sizz up to try and challenge Sathu, who just baits him into the air, and Sathu falls and makes the save. Jacob in the midfield is going to have to try and to stall time, give his teammates time to get behind them, get boost, get set up on defense, because here comes Brett. Jacob on the wall. Sizz getting bumped heavily by AXB. This one back into the box. It'll be Joro back to midfield. Sypical winning the challenge all the way to the corner. Jacob puts it behind him, but here comes Sathu. The pass into AXB. The shot is just wide. Such a brilliant play. Beautifully executed up until the shot.
That was really well executed, but they need to get back on defense, and it was everybody getting involved. Rather than going for the initial touch, he doesn't have the boost up on the wall. He just beelines straight for the goalie to go for the bump. Then after that, a pass immediately infield for a shot. It just wasn't accurate. The means are there, but they need to hit those shots. Both teams' accuracy plaguing them.
Here comes Jacob in the corner. AXB past one. Now Sathu airborne, looking to find Sypical, looking for the shot. Sizz gets it off. It was already on target. And now Joro with the transition back down the field. Nobody totally at home in net. He manages to grab the boost and look for the goalie, but doesn't find him. The Brett defense able to stave it off at the goal line. Double commit again. It's Jacob this time who's over and left alone. He's up, he just misses. He completely misses on the backboard. The backboard. AXB is able to take the lead.
I mean, there's not much else to say about that.
He just misses.
Just whiff, like.
AXB's like, thanks. Appreciate it.
I mean, Jacob has so much history with us for Rocket League in general. And to see him struggling like this is kind of disheartening. And I'm so proud of Brett stepping up to the occasion, making shots like that for AXB with those high-pressure situations. Even Jarl's got something to say, but I don't know what to tell you, man. It's been a weird series.
The team plays. When they're there, they're popping. Joro finds a laser into the goal after Jacob set him up off the ceiling. They tie it right back up, approaching halftime here. Rogue still completely in this series. But as I agree with you that there's just a level of finesse and consistency that seems to be lacking from the RLCS veterans right now. It's kind of been there all season at this point. AXB trying to win it. Jacob winning 2 challenges there, at least stalling him out. Joro still ultimately having to make a save. Sizz touch out. Jacob with a nice read off Sathu. This one all the way down. Is it in? It's just barely off the post and out. Sizz, he's got 2 goalies in front of him. Can he bait them both? Tried. It was going to be difficult. But nobody really winning the challenges in the way they want to. They're successfully stopping their opponents from doing what they're trying to accomplish, but they're not successfully gaining ball control and being able to move down the field meaningfully.
Just a whole lot of back and forth, but a majority of the offense has been for Rogue's favor. Able to keep it on the half of Brett. It's where they look their best when they're able to just kind of send it and send as much pressure as they possibly can. But they need to be careful with counterattack. It's where they've been beaten multiple times. They all cheat up way too far, and we see it again from Brett. A quick counterattack, a pass across, and they catch Jacob off guard.
Same sort of play as Game 3 that we saw Brett take the lead on, and now here in Game 5, another lead. 1 goal separating these teams. The Rogues with 1 minute and 46 seconds to equalize. The winner of this match moves on to match point. We'll be 1 game away from Season 7 of the RLCS. Sypical with a nice save off to the side, and Sathu will look to clear it away. Good touch over the top, and there's a triple commit here. 2 players up right after their teammate. This one should be a security from Sathu. He puts it in. Rogue just all over the place, and Brett's got a 2-goal lead.
I'm just trying to see who the heck was even supposed to challenge that, but I'm looking at 3 different angles, and they're all wrong. No one should have went for that. No one was up in time. Just go back to the net. It's fine. Let him have it.
It was a rough one, especially after your teammate, the first teammate whiffs heavily, and the other 2 are like, we got this. When all 3 players miss, especially at this level of competition, you are guaranteed a goal. And Brett deliver. 2-goal lead now. Final minute approaching. Sizz and Joro, they've got to find some results here immediately. This is tried. Sathu blocks it back out to Jacob now as he follows up his own touch off the backboard. Sypical isn't airborne yet. And AXB puts it back up. Sypical able to take it away from Sizz. And Joro can't beat AXB. This one all the way down. Everybody a little bit low on boost. And Jacob will get it off to the side. But here comes the follow-up from Sathu. Joro and Sizz both up on that one. So much time on that side wall to coordinate who's going up. And instead we get the double commit again. 43 seconds left. And Bread looking to advance to match point against Rogue. To qualify for RLCS, do they put in a third? Just barely they don't. The crossbar helps out Rogue just a little bit. In this match, a sloppy one. Sypical demolished on the far side, but he's got two teammates right there. They'll make the defense happen.
Earlier wave, we said this series was scrappy, and it has definitely upgraded to sloppy. That Bread has gone through something, and at least they're on top right now. I don't know what else to say. This has been some interesting. Rocket League is a nice way of saying it.
Certainly hasn't been stale. As Bread can often become if you leave it out for too long.
Yeah, thanks, Wave. Yeah.
14 seconds left. And up by 3, Bread looking to improve to 3-2 here in the match and be one game away from seeing a complete reversal. Both rivals improve. Both champions relegated. Rogue with their backs against the wall. It's do or die time. They've got to win 2 in a row against Bread, or their hopes of Season 7 are over.
So let's talk about the things that Rogue needs to do to bounce back.
Okay.
Number 1, the pressure. When they do it, it looks great, and they're able to maintain it a lot. When they're up on offense and they're applying all those shots, Bread looks like they're in trouble. They just need to find a way to sustain it. The difficulty they have is they commit too hard. A lot of it is those double commits. They need to stop that and stop it now before it's too late. When they're doing that, it's okay to play a little bit more passive if you're going to leave one back. Just stop giving up those free goals. Do that, you got a more competitive series, and then you can go for the crazy plays.
Yeah, like the pressure is there, and that is what Rogue needs. But they've got to find the shots as well. They've got to find a way to convert. And right now, Bread's doing a great job. Bread is absolutely playing like a team that wants this more, and they're sitting back. They're like, you know, at this point, they're making mistakes. Let's just wait. I think the last 3 goals were just, let's just wait till they mess up, and then let's put it in the goal. Easy. There was the massive commit in the middle. There was the whiff on the backboard. The final goal itself, the final goal, it's like, you know, Rogue's just trying whatever they can. Again, we kind of don't really worry about that 4th goal. But at this point, Rogue is not playing like the better team. Bread is absolutely playing like a championships-level team at this point. I'm excited to see if they can make it, or can Rogue turn it around? They're
playing super smart, just exactly like you said. They're like, you know what, Rogue's making a bunch of double commit issues across the board. Rather than forcing ourselves into those same situations, let's let them do their thing. There's a mistake that's going to happen eventually, and we'll capitalize on it. If Rogue notices that they're being given space and they punish it, it could flip the complete opposite way, and now it matters more than any other time in their career.
Jacob alone in net. He makes just enough of a save to get it away from Sypical, who looks for the kickoff goal. Now, a great deal of space given on both sides. Sathu wins ball control. Sypical coming in, high-flying game from Bread here at the beginning of Game 6. Joro moves up, Jacob's there as well. Nice touch over the top of 1. He doesn't have the double tap, and Sypical will get it over to the side. Now back up to midfield. Looking for Sizz in the back. The pass will work. Sypical, he's got Sathu to work with. They can't find the shot. They're finding the pressure. AXB, touch back to Sypical. Joro's up and across the field. Sizz now on the wall, losing the challenge to AXB. Joro now back down to Jacob. Trying to pass it out to Sizz here. This is something I've noticed over and over again from Rogue. When they try to pass to transition, works almost every time. When they try to dribble out by themselves, they're consistently being beaten in the 1v1 department. Needing to work together as a team, but if you're double committing, that just leaves you with no option.
Right, initially it was great. The dribbles that were coming out were working. But Bread has adjusted to it. They're like, all right, if you're going to bring it down, we're just going to challenge you faster, because that's what they want to do. Bread is doing a phenomenal job of forcing Rogue to make changes. And when those things happen, they are contesting them and benefiting from them. Rogue needs to change that. They need to be the ones controlling and dictating that pressure.
This game so far neutral as AXB comes up, though, finds the shot. The defense wasn't quite there. Nobody had the read on this amazing pass from Zathu in the midfield except for AXB, and that's the lead for Brett.
AXB's just in a great position. He's off cross parallel to the pass, waiting for that opportune moment, and as soon as he sees no one else up, he's like, all right, this is easy, and he has all the time in the world to place it how he'd like. Beautifully put right under the crossbar. Brett strikes first.
Jacob now looking to equalize by himself off kickoff. Sipical gets it away. Here comes Joro in. AXB now across. Sipical puts this one high, and Sathu follows it up. They put it into the goal. It'll be Sizz that has the save. And Rogue needing to find a goal. Brett has everything they need. The light at the end of the tunnel is bright. They can see it. They've just got to keep walking forward. 250 to hold on. Sizz tries to get over to Jacob, but Jacob's slow to challenge. He still wins it on second touch. Now onto the backboard. A whiff from the defense. He looked for the goalie instead of the shot, but didn't find either. Now Sizz demolished. Joro with a touch. Jacob has to stop it. And Rogue. Panic starting to set in as their nightmare of a season's coming to the close in the worst of ways. For Bread, it's been just up and up. Their only loss to Splice earlier in the season. Or no, they beat Splice. They had the loss to the Peeps. But still, just one loss early in the season. Since then, it's just been victory after victory. Now Sizz. Back across. Jacob. Over to Sizz. He's up on the wall. Sathu will be able to take it away from him. Jacob tried to move in, but Sathu bumped him. It's up to Joro now. He's able to get it past two. It's just AXB in the back, and he makes the save. And the backline defense from Bread has been on point the entire series. The way that they are always blocking the final read, and they get this one all the way back down the field. Where's the follow-up there? Sathu, does he put the nail in the coffin? He does. 1:38 left to go. Bread gonna do it here to Rogue. Rogue's just running out of steam.
That's just a clean play from Brett, given plenty of space, 2 versus 1, going down the field, and he plays it slow. He knows he has a teammate that he can pass to, but because of where the ball is, he lets his teammate lead the charge for possibly a bump, and that forces that defender to make a jump and challenge the ball. He flicks it over the top, and then just a shot placed well, far post. A minute and a half left to go. Rogue has to do something, and Sizz playing kissy face on the other side is not the right idea. Get involved.
They have to find the goals, and right now, 2 goals in over a minute, absolutely possible, but with the way Rogue's been playing, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think Bread's done it. Jacob finds a shot, but it's blocked by Sathu. Can Joro and Sizz find it? They put it straight at the defenders. No power on it, and they get the clear all the way back down. They're playing defense once more as Jacob gets it off to the side. Rogue looking like it's all done. With 1 minute remaining, they've got to find it. They've got to dig down deep and put something together just to equalize. At this point, Bread starting to play. Joro finds a goal. The defense, he finds just a small window on the rotation. It's a 1-goal game.
The aggression coming out. You see Sizz challenging that. He is completely out of position, but he knows something has to happen. They send everybody, they go for a bump. It opens up and immediately put it back on target. Only 8 seconds when we think it's over, and they bounce back. 1 to go for Rogue.
Can they send us to overtime? I don't think in this series yet we've had a team be up by 2 and then come back, or a team be up by 2 and then lose that lead. 38 seconds remaining. Joro down the field. Jacob rotating behind. Joro looking to set up Sizz and Jacob both up at the same time. If it's on target, it doesn't matter, but it's not. 30 seconds remaining. Joro underneath 1. Sathu with a nice long clear. Jacob putting this one towards the goal. AXB's there. Joro looked for the read, but couldn't find it. Sizz will pick up his own boost as Sipical moves in. 15 seconds remaining. Sizz trying to connect with Jacob. He actually shuts it down himself. AXB across in the final countdown. So much space being given, hanging back, forcing them to dribble at him. They've been winning those dribbles over and over, and it's going to work out. Joro and Sizz can't find it. Bread improved to the RLCS. Promoted here are everybody from the rival series. What a day.